Okay, so I've been doing these talks for about 2 days. I can go. This is gonna be the final talk, I think, for today. I've been chatting for I don't know. I've been sitting in front of the computer for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. I do that all day at work, and the reason I don't do these internet things as much as I should, or talking to the microphone, is because of all the headaches. I mean, you can see half of my stuff's not working, but that just being on the computer provides. So it's just uh, if you talk about all the things that could go wrong, the computer's got a million of them, and just jumping on board it isn't necessarily how I want to spend my free time. So I think it's awesome because it's the foundation of just a network that's explosive, but it's it could be a big time suck. What are you going to tell people you did your whole life? Stare at a screen? Like, I looked at so many different screen patterns. Like, I've done a lot of shit, man. I've been around. I've seen every episode of Star Wars and every episode of this dude's internet channel or whatever. Like, who the fuck cares? So, it's important that we don't lose our trade and our craft, and that we are able to offer value. And I think the internet is the foundation of something new and big and exciting and a great equalizer. But I also think it's just another platform. It's the most interesting platform out there to me. Not necessarily the internet, but just looking at a screen and televisions and those types of things. So maybe what I'll do is just wrap up a little bit on just the amount that televisions are right in front of you, and the fact that, like, this, you're not going to be able to get away from the screen for quite some time. So that's fine, and that's, people talk about that all the time, but I want to talk about when you're in front of a screen. There's really two types of things that I think are happening. One, you're proactively digesting content, and you're learning from that content, and you're engaged, and you're fulfilled. And the other one is it numbs you. So it's like anything. I think if you put something on for an hour-long episode of something, like, you're putting that on because there's a compelling storyline that draws you in, and it fulfills you, and it offers you the service that device was supposed to provide. So the internet service being whatever you're trying to look up. I was trying to find some software reviews and those types of things, to just like reality television shows that have no value whatsoever, but it's your break from everything else that does mean and weighs heavy on you and does have value. The first one's fine. It's like everything in moderation. But when you start to get into it and you're watching TV for an extended period of time, like, there's really I think some concerns, because it's now a mind-numbing pattern. I think the fresher something is, so the least amount you can throw it into your rotation of life, the more compelled you are to enjoy whatever that is. So the more I wait, it's like delayed gratification. I mean, the longer you wait, the more you'll enjoy that activity, or and anything in excess is problematic. I mean, I feel like just about anything. So, yeah. So the television's one of those things where I think in one of my initial videos, if I can ever get the files out, I talked about flies to light, and we really are. But the thing is that light, whatever's drawing those flies, that we pick at them and make fun of them and say that there's stupid bug, it's just flying into a light. Like, well, we're doing the same thing. It's just a more compelling light. Maybe we're starting to see what they're seeing. I don't know. There's something there that's irresistible and attractive and deflating, I guess, from a creative standpoint, or even just a activity standpoint. Like, there's the ability to look at a screen when you were in your home 10 years ago, and now there's the ability to look at a screen anytime that you feel like it. And the balance has shifted to a place where I'm sure the research shows the time in front of a screen has gone up, tenfold or whatever since the innovation of the iPad and the iPhone and that type of stuff. But the repercussions of that haven't been felt yet. And what I'm excited to talk about, and what I think I should share, and I think what everyone should know is the feelings that they're feeling are very similar. I'm just wanting to firsthand explain too much time in front of the television, I actually canceled my Facebook account because I was spending so much time looking at everyone else's lifestyle. It brought me down because I thought that they were living and doing something more than I was, and I had to go out and then kind of rebut them with construction of my lifestyle choices, which are funner and cooler and better, and get me next to this celebrity, or watch me, do this, or get me next to the lion, or show me in Cuba, or wherever, what people are using to tout their fun existence. But so I was just spending too much time in front of those devices, and I think more people are spending time in front of devices, and more feelings are being generated that the world doesn't completely understand just yet. And so what I'm here to kind of explain, maybe in this last video, is something that's on the deepest level of all, is all the stuff that I'm kind of preaching or talking about is just heartfelt stuff that I'm experiencing, and I want to let you know maybe these we're similar people, I'm actually not that different from a 5-year-old kid to a 60, well, maybe a 60-year-old. I mean, 60 is not that old anymore. I'm sorry, all you 60-year-olds. I hope there's a 60-year-old listening out there that was oh. But it's just showing the range, guy, girl, age. We all have the same core feelings, and we're all built with the same stuff. So I guess I'm getting into a little bit more specifics than might be necessary, but the overall thing I wanted to talk about is the television to me is, and the being in front of a screen is the foundation, I think, of a shift of the breaking and of just people interacting, and that interaction is the thing that fuels happiness, even if it's negative sometimes, because just the fact to get out and see something or someone else respond positively to you is something that the screens strip. So you can't, I'm sure there's plenty of things you can do online that benefit people outside of line, but you can't engage with that person, and you can't really provide yourself. And that's the scariest thing that's happening, is the engagement slowly being broken down. So the once was turn the TV on at the dinner table is now don't have your phone on the dinner table. So now we all have 4 more TVs if it's a 4-person family. Instead of looking at 4 people looking at one television, you got 4 people with 4 devices, and the ability for 4 different times to break the engagement and the further separation of us from real humans. And that's a big deal. And so I really hope I can figure out how to get this message out to you, or whoever it is. But just throwing some knowledge down, what I consider knowledge, a little bit of just purebred Steve Hornbeak thinking. So hopefully some of this is helpful. I'm going to cut it a bit short. It's a touch under 10, or getting up to 10. And so that's just my overall thought on screens, people, and why people and screens need to know their place. And you, the listener, should really decide, if there's someone in the room, am I going to choose a screen over them? And the more I think we as a collective choose the screen first and not the person every time, we're going to be driving that wedge deeper and creating whatever that feeling is that I'm starting to digest more. And I'm going to talk about something next that's a bit controversial, but I'm going to just pause it, end this one, and jump into the next thought, and we'll take it from there. So see everybody in like 10 seconds.